Hi, everyone. Welcome back to What is Up with Mental Health and Everything Else. My name is Latavia Balmer, and I will be your host. Tonight, I am here again with personal counselor Brandon Sherd, and we are introducing you to What is Up with Men and Emotions. And being that you are a man, what is up with you guys with your
Obi, what
emotions?
you mean? What you mean? What's up with us and our emotions?
Guys feel as though they shouldn't have emotions or they shouldn't tap into their emotions, and they love to be nonchalant, especially the guys that I've dealt with, and I'm only 21, and it's like it's stressful.
Stressful. Okay, so what is up with men and their emotions? I mean, I was being slick just now with that response, but you know, when it comes down to men and emotions, you have to recognize, or for sure, emotions hasn't been something that culturally speaking, socially speaking, for most cases, that emotions have been something. It hasn't been something that we've been told that we can express.
Right? Yeah.
You know, there's so many messages out there that maybe some of you guys can relate to, like boys don't cry, men don't cry. If you were to act soft, like don't act soft. You know, it's almost looked down upon for a man to kind of be emotional or vulnerable or have any presence that comes from an emotional place. And I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm just trying to throw some insight as
Yeah.
to why you might have dealt with that.
I don't honestly anything that's a social expectation or something like that, especially when it comes to how we should feel, how we should act, and how we should present ourselves. I never agree with it because who are you to tell me how I should be? You feel me? So when it comes to men and their emotions, I always say it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel those things you're feeling because once you feel it, you make room for other things. You feel me? And I'm a woman, so everyone,
Hey,
guys out there, probably like it's easy for you. You know, you could cry and no one look at you. If we cry, we looked at as weak. Honestly, I wouldn't look at anyone as weak for crying. You know, I just had a conversation with my mentor, and I was crying. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to cry. Ah. And she's like, what are you, a dude? And I'm like, see, now that's an issue. That is an issue for someone to say why you feel as though you can't cry and why are you so tough, why are you trying to be so tough. It's like, yes, cry, feel your emotions, because once you feel the emotions you go let it go and you have room for other emotions to come in. And I've noticed, like, even if guys don't cry, they tend to go to being angry and
yeah,
like
yeah,
just so aggressive,
yeah,
and that right there is like, why?
yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you bring up that point because, you know, overall, emotions with men is just a tricky subject. But of the many emotions out there, there have been a few that have been permissible for men to express, with probably anger being number one.
Yeah.
You can be macho or like it show that feeling of like authority, superiority, or like getting mad or being aggressive. Like that's okay. Well, culturally speaking, so
Yeah.
in a lot of cultural and social contexts, having that emotion is okay. Being quiet, like kind of being mute or not revealing yourself has been okay. A man is just supposed to handle something, right? You know, he shouldn't like express his emotional needs, or even if he needs like a physical need, like he's not supposed to because a man's supposed to handle it.
Yes, and
It's bad programming. It's
exactly,
bad
and it
programming.
messes with your mental because if you can't connect to how you're feeling, how are you knowing what you're thinking? So it's like, and honestly, for me, I feel like that stunts the development of boys coming into men because they're not in tune with their emotions.
Oh.
And if you're not in tune with your emotions, you're not in tune with your intuition. And I'm a very spiritual person. So that's right there, that goes hand in hand. So if you don't know how you feeling, you don't know what you're thinking. And it's just, it's a lot, you know? And it's not good when people sexualize
Hmm.
men being so aggressive, so nonchalant. We're like,
Hmm.
oh, like no, this is not healthy. Why are you
Hmm.
glorifying this?
Hmm.
No.
It's yeah, I feel for us men when it comes down to this topic because like the way we've been trained to handle it has been it's like kind of maladaptive. Like I was saying last week during the podcast, like your thoughts will influence your emotions, which then will influence your behavior. And like so often do I feel like men just like have a thought and then they work within like five different emotions that they can socially say out loud, which are usually like the ones that are not good. And then that behavior comes out in that manner. So it's like, oh gosh, to give an example would be like, let's talk about maybe like even dating, right? Or like talking to another girl or somebody that you're interested in. Like, it may not come off in a way that where for you as a woman, like it seemed like it came from a loving place. Like, guy might say, like, what up? Like, like, okay, of course, that's how you say hello. But does it go further? Like, hey, I was just trying to get to know you, or like, you probably never hear a guy say like, oh yeah, thought you were good looking. Like, I just want to connect with you real quick. Like, maybe a ladies' man, and that's another topic.
Yeah.
But man, listen, a lot of guys they have the game wrong because they just don't come from like they don't have that emotional center.
It's not genuine.
Yeah, it's like a game,
Yeah.
and
And I'll tell you, I'm so tired of the games. Okay, get into touching bases with your emotions. Get in tune with your emotions. And I love that you brought up the dating pool
Mhm.
because a lot of guys, it's like a cause and effect. If you don't show emotions, your girl is like, oh my god, I can't do this. Da da da. You so closed in. But then a guy, when he starts to notice, like, okay, she's actually really caring about my well being. Maybe I should open up to her. And then they get too emotional, and then the girls look at them like, okay, now you like me right now. Like I don't know if I can handle that. And then they be like, okay, I'm gonna close back up. So it's like I could
Yeah.
not win.
And it wasn't the fact that you didn't want them to be more emotional or like show some emotion. It's just that they went from not doing it at all to doing the complete opposite on the other end of the spectrum, where it's like they're like on 10 now, and it's like, whoa, like I need you to turn it up all the way, just like a couple notches, right?
One step at a time. Then we get there. But like, I get it though, because I've grew up around so many boys, and they all the same way. No one wants to talk about their feelings. No one wants to address how they're feeling, but they go straight to anger, straight to anger. And then when they do start to, you know, warm up to the person they're dating, and they start to defrost or.
Yeah, defrost was the word.
They start to do that, the girls are always like, okay, you way too sensitive. And then they break up. And then they're like, what am I supposed to do? So I understand the conception of not wanting to and the conditioning. Because it starts
And
from a
that,
very, very young age. The moms, the dads. It's a whole lot to it, but I just feel as though don't worry about what everybody is thinking. You are a human being. You feel everything,
yeah, I think you should have the freedom to express
Exactly.
how express yourself like freely, openly, genuinely,
Yes.
like not to a point where it hurts somebody or it really impacts the next person because now that's probably an indicator that it went overboard. But like you know you can say your piece and you can say it in a way that gets your point across, gets your emotion across, and then gives that opportunity to whomever you had said it to give you a good response back. And, you know, a lot of times it's like, I think anger shows itself so much because there's just like confusion about what the emotion actually is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it came out as anger, but you know what? Fuck, I was hurt. Sorry, I was hurt. Like, I was hurt.
Yeah.
Or I was upset. Or it could be a lot of different underlying emotions that were at play that, which honestly, intellectually, it was like, this is like, I don't like feeling like this. Or I don't like, this process is confusing, or it's unusual, it's different, it doesn't feel good. Don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel good. So you know what? My reaction is, I'm mad. Like, I'm gonna snap to that emotion because that's how I normally deal with it.
Yeah.
And then, nah.
And then it's like socially acceptable. Like for
Yeah.
men,
Mm-hmm.
everybody just see men as angry. Like you're automatically aggressive because you're a man, and they're just so comfortable with that emotion. And it's like sometimes love, you gotta relax, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like really big on men being okay with being vulnerable, because one day I might have a son, and I will not ever teach him man up. Men are boys are not supposed to cry, you know. I won't ever teach him that. And I try to teach my brothers and the people that's close to me that are males, like, feel your emotions. And I give them tips like, if you ever feel some type of way, I'm here for you. You could journal, you could go to therapy. And I notice a lot of them, uh, like their emotions, how they feel, they turn it into like a physical activity. That's why a lot of guys join sports and go to the gym of that nature. That is a outlet for them, that is okay. That is absolutely okay. But when it becomes just, oh, I'm upset, I'm going to the gym, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to play football, I'm going to play basketball, I don't want to talk about it. Avoidance is just not the way. You feel me? So it's just talk about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and it's like there hasn't been much practice, let's say. Um, talk, you say talk about it, but exactly how? Like, has anybody ever taught another man how to show emotion? Not only that, but has another like male individual showed this young man, or older man, doesn't matter, another man, like, has he ever had a good figure that also was a male to show him how to, in a man's way, talk about emotions and feelings? Like, has that ever happened? Because I see so much, like, um, it takes either mama, grandmama, or a girlfriend.
Yeah, it takes a woman.
Yeah, well, it takes a woman, right? If I could be honest, to even encourage a man to get into like an emotional sense,
Yeah.
right? And okay, kudos to y'all. Kudos to y'all. But it's a different perspective, or it can be hard for the man to internalize this as something that he might have to do more throughout his life, because it's like, okay, I know I can be a little emotional around my girl, but like, that's just around my girl. I would never do this in a social context without her. Me and my boys don't talk like this, for better or for worse. It's like only for this part of the person, not for the whole entity, and like, that may not be the best way to go about things.
Exactly. What I say about that is we should like try to change expectations of how a man's supposed to be, especially when it comes to emotions, because it all starts with everyone just agree like, yeah, men don't do that. Men don't do that. But if we change,
It's just like, where's that programming? Where we even get that idea from? Where did we get that from? It's not like I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just men don't do that.
Well,
Says who?
exactly. Who? Like now, I'm like,
where's it
who
coming
even
from?
came up with this? Because it's been around for so
Oh yeah,
long,
big time, big
and
time.
it passes down to generations. You know, even men that have fathers in their lives. Some fathers don't even know how to express themselves, so they can't teach their sons. So it's like, where does this come from? So now we have to tackle the social aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to change the stigmas of it. Like,
There you go. That's a good word.
men can feel. You feel me? Men can feel, and they should, and it should be acceptable. And everyone shouldn't look at them like, you too emotional.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's like you're human, and I'm
yeah.
glad that you're tapping in. I'm glad that you're feeling this because it's progress for you. When I see my brothers cry, but whether it's an angry cry or a glad cry, I be so proud of them because I'm like, you don't care.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
you know how you feeling and you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage more men to do that. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it's just like it can just be very cleansing. It can bring a lot of insight. You know, for a moment, and when you might be like feeling low or crying or whatever the case may be. You know, it's indicating that something is off, and like maybe it's the mind and the body trying to like express that, and then that gives you a moment to look a little deeper as to like, wow, why is that even the case? I'd rather you do that inquiry than to just push it out, push it away, which is working hard, 24/7, not even thinking about mind and emotions. Like, I'm just gonna keep myself busy, or I'm just like throw myself to the gym and like deal with it that way. Like, that's coping, okay, but it's not gonna go nowhere.
Like, you're gonna eventually burn yourself out.
Yeah, yeah. It's the whatever it is it's not going to go anywhere. And like in counseling all the time, like I encourage clients to like look at what it is that's troubling you, or has you uptight or feeling some type of way.
Knowing your
Like,
triggers, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, um, encouraging just the rawness and the realness, because that's the thing. Like, we be behind facades sometimes. Like,
Yes.
man, I'm good. I ain't got no problem. Like, what you talking? I ain't got no problem.
It's also sometimes with anybody, not just men, but anybody. Like, we hide behind those facades because we don't believe people actually care. So that's another conditioning.
I see.
We think no one actually cares about what we're going through, so we don't want to open up. And if someone is if someone's actually acting like, what's wrong? Like, you could talk to me. We care, you know?
No.
And men, I know you guys just be like, I got my own mantra. I got this. I'm a man.
Yep.
Sometimes it's okay to
Yeah.
just, I'm
It-
sad.
and, like, um, I I want to say, like, as as a man, we as men need to be there for one another as well. Like, you know, if your boy is coming to you like, yo, I'm really struggling with something, like, I don't know what to do about it. Like, distress. Like, don't let the immediate response be, man, what are you talking about? Like, suck it up. Like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, please, like, I feel like for some cases, like, a man can learn a lot from another man, you know? Um, it's more real in that process coming from another person of that, that gender. Um, don't waste the opportunity. Don't just brush it off as if it's nothing there. Be there for your friend. And all you got to do is listen. I mean, it could be uncomfortable. I know. It's like, not your emotions may go and make me emotion. I don't know how to deal with this. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Just listen. Hey, what's going on? Just listen.
Yeah, y'all be so
Don't judge.
exactly. Y'all be so tight on bros or roll. Listen to your bro seriously,
Yeah.
because brotherhood is a
Nice.
strong connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just if I have a guy that knows. Like, if I was a man, I'm like, I have a friend and he just knows, I could vent to him and he just knows, he have the wisdom, he just makes me feel heard and seen,
Hmm.
then I can teach someone else to do the same thing. Each one teach one. You feel
Yeah,
me?
exactly. Like we're here to help each other and lift each other up. Things like just suck it up. You ain't going through it, or other things that I've heard that I probably won't say here. But if you ever find yourself dismissing uh like what a friend of yours is saying, or brother or sister, whomever, like it may not be making the situation any better.
Yeah.
um it'd be more important to you know take the time to just listen. Try to hear what that person is going through, and say it back. Okay, if you say like, oh, I'm having a bad day, you know uh, I got to class late, and I was just frustrated because now, like, I think the professor's going to think that I'm a bad student. Whatever the case may be, I don't know. Everything that you guys go through, um, you know, hear them and be like, yeah, man, it sounds like you stressed out because of X, Y, and Z. You came late. Um, have that opening ear, and then try to help. Like, maybe point out something that they can do differently the next time, or there's so much helping that happens just in listening.
Yeah.
Um, People can figure out their solutions after they get through that emotion part, right? Um, that they were experiencing because the complications that they have for the day. So just listen. Like everybody can do that.
I actually have a thought on that.
Yeah.
When people dismiss others' emotions, it's because they don't want to see themselves in that person.
Oh, you get kind
So
of deep there.
once you're like, boy, you ain't going through nothing, you're afraid that you may resonate with what they're going through. And now you have to identify what you're going through to get through it too. So I noticed that a lot. People are like, no, I don't want to hear it. You ain't going through nothing. You good, because they want to feel good.
Maybe you cracked the code there a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe you did. No, but I can actually. It's amazing how much people, especially if they're not aware of it, will actively avoid something, right? And a lot of that is avoidance of, whether the emotion. Men can typically intellectually deal with something, but if something happens where it's like, oh, that hit my emotions, it's like, I don't know what to do.
Ooh, yes.
Man, come on, man. We ain't talking about that today. Come on, man.
Oh
What
my
you talking
God,
about?
yes. And especially I love that you said that, because when guys get their heart broke one time, they never want to love again. And I'm like, you gotta grow up. That's one person. It's not gonna happen again, maybe, but it's not gonna happen again the same way. Like, you can't be so standoffish of feeling, knowing that you have these emotions, because you are a person. Just because you identify as a male does not mean anything human. The human behavior, human development, all of that is different for you. It's not at all, except for one part. But yeah, just know, like, we all go through these things, and we're supposed to be a community. So if you have that in your mind, like, I'm not alone here. I can actually open up. I can actually talk about these things. I can actually connect. Connecting with other people makes it better as well. There's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it makes you want to have the full human experience, as I could say.
Mm-hmm.
But like, seriously, we're all literally one and the same.
Right. Right. And you bring up a good point. Like connecting with others makes us like, you know, and I think that's the thing for men where it's like when it comes down to like an emotional thing. Um, One, I think that's why a man can maybe have those emotional conversations with females, because it's like that's the only people that they can trust with their emotions a little bit. Like probably need help deciphering emotions in the first place, and you know, um, and then, and why it doesn't happen so much between like a man talking to another man, like about what they might be going through, what they might be feeling. Um, and since it's always like dismissed or regarded when it's attempted, like then makes this period of like isolation and like not living your best self, not being connected, and you're just missing out on better opportunities, better
Yes.
chances, better ways of living.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Oh my God. And it's like, I know we're talking about emotions
Hmm.
this whole episode, but I mean, like I said earlier, if you don't know how you're feeling, you're not gonna know how you're thinking.
Hmm.
And with that, it changes your whole perspective on life. And
Hmm.
you just, like you say, you isolate yourself
Yeah.
because you think no one cares about you. You don't even care about how you feeling, how you thinking, and you're just like, I'm gonna thug it out alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being alone is not okay.
It's just, there's just can be a better way of, experiencing life and going about it. And, I mean, that's I would say that's the issues that us men have with emotions. But that is not to say, I talked about like there's like five emotions that a man socially is able to, present. Um, and it has its merits, it has its good times, and it has its purposes, right? Because I don't want this episode to just be like, oh, we bash men about their emotions. Like to the emotions that men can express, like sometimes anger, right? Anger can be useful, especially if you're trying to protect something,
Okay, come
because
forward.
now like let you and your man's be out, and let's say something happened to you, not even something happened to you, but like there was a microaggression, which is like somebody said a slick comment. Maybe they didn't mean it, but they said something about you, or you felt offended, right? And then your man's seen it, and now that emotion now, like this is probably like, whether it be anger or like the need to protect, that comes out. And it's like, yo, what you say to my girl? Like, and see, y'all be liking that stuff sometimes. See?
We're not gonna get to that.
No, like, I'm just saying, some of the emotions that like men socially are able to do, they have its purpose. And again, I always say, if a if an emotion which is leading to your behavior is working in a positive way, like good came out of it, okay, cool. Um, but if it's something that seems to be defeating you, like, oh, I can't talk about this because people are going to judge me, like, so I can't do it. Like that's not like, it points to a negative thing, and it has to be changed. Like there's something wrong with that, and you have to find a way to make it better.
Yeah, it's a sense of maturity level with that is aspect, the emotional
Mm.
aspect. If you're not able to see that, then you're not mature in a way, and your mentality is affected.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know what y'all gonna do after this podcast. But I'm just saying, like,
No, we're
relax
just
sometimes.
kind of just sharing like reflections of things that we've seen. Um, you know, I feel like you let us know if any of this is relatable
Yeah,
to the daily experience. But just be authentic,
yeah,
be genuine. You're free to express anything.
absolutely.
Um, if you try to reach out to, as a man, right? You try to reach out to whether it be a friend or somebody else, and they like throw you away. Like they say, oh, some of the stigmas that we addressed earlier, like, you know, boy, what are you talking about? Like, we gonna talk about something else. Um, hey, maybe even call them out on that. Like, from a mental health perspective, like being not feeling heard or validated, if you will, or just like, okay, I see how that was affecting you. It could be really hurtful to like your well-being. So, let's just try to nip that. Like, we don't have to live like that anymore. Like, we need to be there for one another more.
Yeah, I'm really so concerned on the I don't care. emotion. Because a lot of guys, they just be like, I don't care. I don't care. And I'm interested in like what you don't care about. Like what you don't care about. But you did mention that it's 5 emotions that men are socially
About
acceptable.
about 5.
And you said it's anger.
Yeah.
What's the other 4? Besides, I don't care.
Right. So I don't care is, and then to attach that to, let's see here, what do we call that? Apathy. So you have anger, you have apathy, you have frustration. It's kind of in the field of anger,
Yeah.
but frustration is another one. I think a man can show love, but not in the context that is like really definitive of like what love is. It's like pride, if you will. Pride. Add that to the list. Man can absolutely show some pride,
Oof.
socially and culturally speaking. Pride. Sheesh.
Oof.
Said it's one of the 7 deadly sins over there. You get a lot of it. Have you had experience with a prideful, overly prideful man?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tell me about it, man.
Yeah.
The pride be kicking out. Oh, the egos.
Pride and ego.
Please, in the God complexes.
Another pride.
Woo! See, y'all so in tune with your pride. You know, you be like, I'm this, I'm him. Y'all love saying that, I'm him. But you don't want to be tapped into, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm upset. But y'all love that pride, man. Y'all won't let go of that pride.
It's like, life is full of its ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
And if you only exist in a emotion of pride, I would love to see what you do when life is in one of those down moments. Like, not every day is going to be perfect, right? And when you hit a challenge, like, now what do you do about that challenge and how it affects your pride, right?
Oh,
what'd that do?
My mentor said something to me that I want to repeat to y'all. It's something about it. It's a scripture about the pride. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up.
I had to think a little bit. I was like, okay, I've been mentioning these 5 emotions. I got you. Pride is definitely another one of them for sure.
Oh, this was it.
You got it?
Proverbs 16.
Oh, we going scripture.
The Lord detests all the pride of heart. Be sure of this. They will not go unpunished. And then it goes to say, when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom.
So saith the Lord.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out my mentor for telling me that, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little prideful myself, but y'all be OD crazy.
You never want to overdo something. Like pride is an emotion, right? It's something
like
with
a guard. Yeah, it's more so guarding.
I think when used in an overt sense, like when it's not balanced, right? And we talked about that last week. Everything you want to do, you want to be doing it in a state of balance where you don't want to go overboard, because now you miss a lot of other possibilities. But when pride is overboard, it might be to protect, and what you were saying.
Exactly, yeah. And it all comes back to just the stigma of what a man's supposed to be and how a man's supposed to act. And I feel like that's not acceptable right now. Like in this generation, the world we live in right now, we shouldn't be okay with this being a social norm. You get it? Like, although we're telling, men out there how to deal with these emotions and how to go forward with them, we need to be attacking the system. Like, this is not This is not okay. So we are actually really trying to change.
Change, challenge, make y'all
Exactly.
understand. Like, hey, this is this the right way to go about this?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever? It's so ingrained where it's almost automatic. Like, we don't do that. This is weird. Like,
Yeah,
what?
like suck
Like,
up. Like,
but where does that come from? I
yeah.
really want to challenge that.
You know,
I want you guys look to see if that is something that happens in this week. Like, is that a response that you just regularly give out, and why? Ask yourself
yeah,
why.
like if you catch yourself, doing these things, just be like, just ask your stuff and be like, whoa, what just made me do that? Why am I
Hmm.
doing that? How can I change that? You feel me? But it's like, although we're just trying to, shine light on it, we
Hmm.
also have to understand, because sometimes it could be family dynamics,
Yeah, yeah,
it could
yeah.
be fear,
Hmm. Hmm.
it could be a lot of even insecurities, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're saying these things, but it's also coming from understanding also.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's if it's been ingrained, like the way you've been brought up, you know, all your friends in like high school, that's the way they were, and they maybe went off to college and looked for that at college and at the college setting. It might be just all you know. And okay, hey, listen, that's just life. That's where you at. That's cool. But has it ever worked against you? you know,
did it benefit you in any way?
hey, and if so, well, I don't really know if that would be the case.
Nah, I don't think not being able to express yourself effectively benefits anyone
Mm,
because it stops you from growing and maturing in the way that you should be. It stops you from creating relationships, healthy habits, healthy cope mechanisms. It stops you from, just having that sense of life
mm,
because you're
mm,
literally miserable if you think about
mm,
it. You're miserable on the inside,
mm,
and it's not an attack on anyone. It's just reality. Like if
mm,
you keep it bottled up and keep bottling up, eventually you're going to explode,
And
and
we've seen that. Oh my gosh. Oh my
it's not going
gosh.
to be good on your mental health and
Hmm.
the people around you because sometimes people don't understand anything, and if a closed mouth don't ever get fed.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's just like think about it.
Yeah. Think about it. And and do know that like there's supports out there to work through this in the way that will make sense to you. Like, I gotta give a shout out to the Champs program.
Oh yes.
Today we did a men's talking group at Jarvie Hall, second floor, and something that we'll be doing every other Thursday. Where it's just been we talking about real things that we go through, so that we can figure out one have the opportunity to talk because men don't create that space for one another
Yeah,
to talk. Like,
just
craziest thing I've ever heard. But when we need to talk, but that space is available. You talk about anything, whatever's on your mental. Like, that's how you start to learn and like experience what being more like in tune or like just connected with yourself feels like. It was a good time, and I encourage everybody. If this topic is something that you want to learn more about, or you want to kind of see things from a different perspective, that's a good platform for any men out there at Bloomfield that wants to talk more about themselves. Please join us.
yeah, it's a brotherhood.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brotherhood.
And I met one of the members of Champs,
Hmm.
and he's a very great guy.
Hmm.
He's
Hmm.
got a great head on his shoulders. He know
Hmm.
how to communicate
Hmm.
effectively.
Yeah.
He knows his emotions, and he's a freshman here,
Hmm.
so it's like being a part of something makes you feel worthwhile, and
Yeah.
it changes your behavior,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're going through the same things the other person is going through. You
Yeah,
could piggyback
exactly.
off each
Because you
other.
know what? So many things that we try to hide, another person going through it too.
Yeah,
And if we just open our mouths a little bit and heard it,
exactly.
you probably get something good out of it for the both of y'all. You know what I
Exactly. A
mean?
closed mouth do not get fed. So,
You're like you're never alone in these situations. Like
never.
there's a good chance that whatever is on your mental that's not like working for you, there's somebody out there uh, who is struggling through the same thing, and it's like, what? Who's going to be the brave one to talk about it? Talk. You know, it's for you. It's for your well being. It's for your own good. There's so many platforms to do it here
Mhm.
at. So I encourage you guys.
Yeah, y'all like singing NBA YoungBoy lyrics and all
Yeah, you gonna
that
stop coming
other
after us. No, you stop.
y'all better talk for real.
No, yeah, like I don't know. However which way you need to, because it's there. And that's the undeniable truth. Like emotions are there. Um, you can try to bury them, you can try to repress them, or utilize any other defense mechanism known out there. But it's not getting to the source.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna have to deal with it. And then you have to spend more time and energy dealing with these emotions that are getting in the way of your potential and your success.
Exactly.
So, you know, from an intellectual way, as guys like to understand it from, if you don't get a handle of your emotions, it's gonna hold you back.
Hello.
And if it holds you back, then that means you're making less money.
Hello.
So figure it out.
Yeah.
So you can be your best.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But we're not saying figure it out by yourself.
Right.
That is not the message. No.
Thank you. I was hoping, like, you know, after talking about the platform, but
Yeah.
no, please, yes, do not. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. Actually, you know, let me spit some more with that. Is there a chance that you can figure it out by yourself? Sure, but if there are faster ways to get through this, you know, work through this and learn a more healthier way to be in tune with your emotions, why not do that? Because it goes back to just what I said. You know, if it's faster, then you can get to your goal faster and you can just be more successful and more at your potential faster. So why waste a year
Yeah.
handling things by yourself when you can literally like accomplish it in like 2 months?
Right.
Or who knows? You most likely will accomplish it faster if you are in connection with somebody who can be a peer or a mentor or just a helpful ally to whatever it is that you're going through.
Yeah. And I want to say to guys that are, you know, in tune with their emotions or have an idea of how to get in tune with their emotions, I'm proud of you. I'm absolutely proud of you. And I know poetry helps a lot. A lot of men love poetry, and that's how they spill their emotions with words, the intellectual part.
Hey,
And that's beautiful. You putting your emotions and your thoughts into a work of art. And I encourage that the most because I love poetry. Poetry is so beautiful.
hey, yeah, same here.
So if you not sure if you can vocalize it, I always say write it. Write it out. You know? It's a good mental exercise, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll write it out. It can be in poetry. Some people can express it in like different forms of music, like, you know.
But not NBA on board.
You know, he makes good music though.
Oh, Little Dirk. Yeah.
No, just find an outlet. Find an outlet, whatever it is that, you know, connects you with your emotions to help you identify your emotions, process them, where are they coming from. You know, I'm from the counseling department, so that resource is available. Mentorship network. Shout out to Keita
Miss
Adams.
TK.
There's so many like people here that can help, that are like waiting for you to like have a conversation with them, and that they can point you in the right direction about, you know, anything, especially dealing with emotions. Like, just take advantage of it.
Yeah. And if there isn't a comfortable space for you, create it. Create your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
personal comfortability, you know?
Hmm.
And then, hey, you create something, you be the first person to create something, you don't know how many people gonna join you.
True that.
I
True
like
that.
that. I like that.
Yeah, no, true that.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you might start. You never know who it might impact and
Exactly.
who else it resonates with, and be like, I, that really helped me out. Like, it's just being on the doing the not the, a good thing, just doing good things.
Yeah. I hope that we've connected to you guys. I hope that we said some things that you guys relate to. And if not, just put it in the comments,
Yeah, put it in the
inbox
comments.
us, DM us, let us know anything. Because we're here, you
That's
know.
right.
The personal center, counseling center here, Bloomfield's here. We have a lot of resources here at the college.
Right.
Utilize your resources. I want to thank you guys for watching and coming this long because we actually stayed.
Yeah, we did our 40.
Yeah, we stayed extra 10 minutes to get through this because this is
Yes.
important,
Yeah, yeah.
I want guys to know that you are seen, you are heard, okay? And don't ever, just turn the other cheek when it comes to these types of things.
Yeah. Yes.
Just address it, go
Yeah.
with it. Do you have any closing?
No, other than, just want to continue to say thanks to people that are behind us, which is we got Dr. McLean from Student Success or Fostering Student Success. She's another one that you can talk to,
Yeah.
join her program,
Yes.
get involved. She's got good stuff.
She got your back too.
Yeah, she does. You got, I mentioned before, but from the Mentorship Network, we got Takeda Adams.
Shout out to you.
That program is wonderful. So many student resources. Shout out to Champs again. My supervisor Lewis. My men, literally join it. Like we will figure this out. We'll get through it.
Get involved. Get
please,
involved.
yeah, especially if you're not involved in any other cohort here on campus. Like it's free to you. It helps you get through your schooling. And it's a space for us men to talk. So why not take advantage of it? It's free. And of course, shout out to my main supervisor, Letitia Little. She's great to talk to. You can get connected with her if counseling is a route that you're interested in or want to go through to maybe talk more about this. You can just send an email to personal_counseling@bloomfield.edu. And somebody will get back to you within the next business hour or business day, rather.
Yes.
And that's it for me.
Yes.
Come on, close us out.
Yes, like I said, I want to thank you so much for reaching this point of the video. I would be very much appreciated if you join us next week as we will talk about what does love mean to you.
Oh boy.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
This
boy.
is going
Get
to
ready.
be a tough one.
Okay.
But thank you so much
All right.
and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.